Google Plus Hangouts on air. This is Gopal Midha, a graduate research assistant and doctoral student at UCEA headquarters at the University of Virginia. I'm here today to interview Dr. Wayne Lewis as part of his candidacy for the UCEA Executive Committee. Today, listeners will be hearing from Dr. Wayne Lewis, who is an associate professor and doctoral programs chair in the Department of Educational Leadership Studies and a faculty affiliate of the African American and Africana Studies program at the University of Kentucky. From 2011 to 2014, he served as chair of the Principal Preparation Program at UK. Dr. Wayne's teaching, research, and writing are in the areas of education policy and politics, human resource management in education organizations, and leadership for school, family, community engagement in communities of color. His involvement with UCEA began as a doctoral student at North Carolina State University. He was a 2007 to 2009 Barbara Jackson Scholar. As a faculty member at UK, he has also mentored Jackson Scholars for the last 3 years and has served as PSR for the University of Kentucky for the last 3 years. Welcome, Dr. Lewis.
Thank you, Gopal. I'm happy to be here.
Great to hear from you. So I'll jump right into the questions. Please tell us about your background and your scholarship as it relates to leadership preparation and practice.
Sure. So I began my career in education as a special education teacher and teacher leader. I started in the New Orleans public schools and moved to the St. Charles Parish Public Schools, which is a suburban school district which neighbors New Orleans. And then after Hurricane Katrina, my wife and I, who's also an educator, relocated to the Wake County Public Schools. From my K-12 teaching career, I moved into teacher preparation while a doctoral student at North Carolina State. And then in my current faculty position in the Department of Educational Leadership Studies at the University of Kentucky, I served 3 years as program chair of the Principal Preparation Program, including co-leading the redesign of our Principal Preparation Program. I also worked on the departmental committee, which created a new master's degree in teacher leadership, which we're very proud of, and worked to design 2 of the courses as a part of that program. And then for the last 2 years, I've served as chair of our doctoral programs in educational leadership, including both our executive EDD, recently redesigned as a program that focuses on meeting the needs of educational leadership practitioner scholars, and our PhD program, which prepares students who want to pursue careers in research and educational leadership, both P12 and higher education. In terms of my scholarship, my current work in the areas of school leadership practice and preparation is really in 2 areas. First, with a group of students and in collaboration with a human resources office of a local school district here in Kentucky, we're working to improve the teacher recruitment process. Specifically, we're working to develop interventions aimed at improving the size, quality, and diversity of the teacher applicant pool. Some of what we're doing involves improving leadership policy and practice that's already in place. But then in some other areas, we've started from scratch with the interventions. And then in a project which I'm just beginning with one of my current doctoral students, we're beginning to examine leadership preparation approaches specifically for preparing school leaders who will lead in high poverty, predominantly minority schools.
Great. So you have also served for several years as a plenary session representative. Can you please tell us about your engagement in UCEA's governance?
Sure. So for the last 3 years, I've served as a PSR at the University of Kentucky. It's been an incredible honor. It's a role I've enjoyed a great deal. I've been involved with UCEA since I was a graduate student, but in the last 3 years as PSR, I've learned so much about the organization's history, the current role that it plays in the field of educational leadership, and its aspirations for the future.
Wonderful. And in what other ways have you been engaged in UCEA?
Well, in addition to my role as PSR, I've had the privilege of serving as a Jackson Scholars mentor. And that's a role that's incredibly important to me for a few reasons. First, because I got so much out of my experience as a Jackson Scholar. And I attribute much of the success that I've experienced in landing a tenure track position and being promoted and tenured. I attribute much of that to what I learned as a Jackson Scholar and the network of scholars and graduate students I was connected to through that program. And so as I take my role as mentor now, I take that incredibly seriously because I want to pay that forward. As a field, we still have a ways to go with increasing the diversity of tenured and tenure-eligible faculty members in educational leadership, and I'm committed to doing everything I can to help in that area.
Oh, that's great to hear. Can you discuss also with us your scholarship, research projects, teaching, or service that can inform the work of UCEA, particularly the work of the executive committee?
Sure. So I've discussed already a little bit of my scholarship, but in terms of my teaching, for the last few years, my teaching has primarily been in the areas of action research for educational leadership, a course sequence which was developed specifically for our executive EDD and educational leadership. It's been in leadership for school, family, community collaboration, leadership for human resources management and education organizations, and the politics of educational leadership. Throughout my time as a faculty member and as a graduate student, I've taught in a wide variety of different areas. And so I think I would bring to the executive committee lots of that experience.
Oh, wonderful. Finally, share the reasons why you have chosen to run for the executive committee, and what is your vision for the future of UCEA?
So I've chosen to run for the executive committee because I believe in UCEA. I believe the organization plays a critically important leadership and advocacy role in the field of educational leadership. And I want to be a part of helping to move our organization forward. I want to be a part of helping us to tackle some of the most pressing issues in our field, tackle those issues head on. And I want to be a part of us becoming one of the strongest organizations in the country in the conversation on educational leadership practice and preparation. We've already made significant strides in those areas, and I believe we are poised to move even further. We've benefited tremendously as an organization from the leadership of folks like our executive director and current members of the executive committee, our president, and I want to be part of helping to lead the organization as we move to even greater heights.
Oh, wonderful. Dr. Lewis, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for your time and your thoughtful response.
Thank you.
This interview will be archived on the UCEA Google Plus page and the UCEA YouTube channel, so listeners can access or share the interview at any time. We also encourage listeners to post comments and questions of this interview on the UCEA Google Plus page. Please stay tuned in for our next UCEA EC interview. Goodbye.